If Jack Quaid was a robot, he would only have two settings. Twink, chill dude who's somehow kind of a superhero, and psychotic Reddit nice guy.
The days of you controlling me are over.
Are you breaking up with me?
It's not you. It's me.
If you were hoping that 2025 would be the year that hating men isn't the subject of most horror movies, then go fuck yourself, because this is just Terminator if it was made for white women instead of white men. You know, there is actually a scene in Heretic where Hugh Grant is talking to Sister Paxton, and he's like, yeah, unfortunately Sister Barnes isn't a real person. Well, looky here. Companion is from the makers of Barbarian, so you know it will be ridiculous and cool. And it's about Iris, who goes out to a remote lake house for a weekend away with her boyfriend's friends. Sounds like a traditional horror film out in the middle of nowhere. It is not. Although instead of a killer randomly turning up, Iris is the killer against her own will. And if that doesn't just fascinate you on its own, I don't know what will. Yes, Iris is a robotic companion, or to put it indelicately, fuckbot for Josh, who's played by Jack Quaid, who kind of puts a spin on his exact persona from Scream by... Sorry, did I say spin? He's playing the exact same character as he was in Scream, except if he actually couldn't convince a real woman to sleep with him. Yeah. Essentially, this film is going to do for sex dolls what Jaws did for water. Companion is the sort of like nifty modern horror film... Nifty, really. It's just got so much going for it because it doesn't care that much if some of its twists and turns are a little bit predictable. It's got some good ones as well. It's just got so many good side characters. I really love all of the characters. I love Harvey Guillem and I love Megan Suri, and I'm really coming around on like Lucas Gage, and the two leads are just so good. And Rupert Friend is there for some reason. Like, it's just a perfect small cast, and it's mostly of kind of up-and-coming actors and people who are really turning into big names in the horror genre. Iris, which is an anagram for Siri, but we're not going to talk about that, is literally a woman who is a fuckbot. Like, she is made for a man's pleasure, and that allegory is about as subtle as a brick to the face. But unfortunately, a lot of men do need a brick to the face type of allegory in these films, and I mean, the market has become flooded with these over the last 3 years or so, but I think this is a lot better done than most of those. I'd maybe say The Menu I prefer a little bit. It's not quite the same themes and stuff, but it has some of those same ideas. But in general, I think this is a lot better than a lot of what's come out in this kind of man-hitting horror subgenre. And I think a lot of men need this kind of pill to be in the type of film that they can actually swallow, that they'll actually watch. The Oscars are finally, as we saw from the recent nominations, having to acknowledge horror films more because they're just getting so good. They're in such a golden era right now. There's so much happening in this genre. It's crazy. And Companion is a film which was definitely worthy of the hype it was getting pre-release and the reviews and praise it's now getting. It's just got everything personally that I want to become a very memorable horror film for me, and a very rewatchable one, because quite a few of these modern films in this genre, which have kind of a few twists and turns, don't feel that rewatchable. This one, I think, I haven't obviously tried to rewatch it yet, I think it is, and that's very comforting for something that I'm looking at prior to release, and I'm hoping this is going to be my favorite horror film of the year, or one of them, and it's going to be a big personal favorite in the horror genre, maybe. I was not let down despite having high expectations. I think Sophie Thatcher is a genuine star. I'm so excited to see where she goes next, because she's been on a real upwards roll the last 2 years. The best jump scare in the film was Jack Quaid's orgasm face suddenly appearing, so watch out for that. And I'm giving Get Out for Robots 4.5 stars. There is one slight issue in the film. It's a silly little thing, but Iris does, after having her ability to fight for herself and free will taken away by a man, get it given back to her by a man, and that's a bit. We're not going to talk about that. It's fine. But subscribe for more hard truths.